This company is divinely guided. I have enough proof points now to know that this is a co-creation with the universe. The idea is very big, very ambitious. It's not just about a product. It's not about a new kind of social media. It's about that and a new kind of business, a new form of capitalism. And I really believe that business is the best way to create meaningful, lasting change around the world to millions and actually billions of people. So it is so ambitious. And part of my story is I had to spend a lot of time just grounding down with the vision and returning to my practices. And what I've noticed is the vision has gotten clearer and bigger, but it's coming at the right time and at the right speed. Otherwise, it would probably be too overwhelming for me or for anybody. But the pieces are falling into place. And doing this work, not just for myself, but for the people who are already working at Realize, are doing this work in ceremony. This is a sacred practice. There's no separation between work, life, play, and spirit. It's all combining. I don't even say I have to work. I never say I have to work. I always say I get to work. It's such a gift to be able to do this, to be able to do what my soul has been calling out to build and create. And so when we say working with Source, that means we are aligning with the infinite abundance of Source. And we don't believe things are supposed to be hard. In fact, I told our first investor before we signed any documents, I said, just so you know, I'm not going to build this the Silicon Valley way. It doesn't work. If 90% of startups are failing, it doesn't work. And I don't want to do that because I love my life. I live in Hawaii. I walk to the beach in the mornings. I have a very peaceful life. I'm looking at my mango tree right now, which is my favorite fruit. And the response from the investors was, you're not going to build it that way. You're going to write the new way. There's a new playbook that's waiting to be written. And it's going to be a co-creation. And it's going to be created through Source. Because Source is going to bring the right people into this company. So far, the first check came with absolutely no effort at all. My first 2 hires showed up. In fact, I asked both of them to write up their dream job. And that's what they're now working on. There's a coalition of people who came here who have their zone of genius. This is going to take many, many people in their zone of genius. My role as the steward of the vision is to build the coalition, set up the team so that each person is operating from their zone of genius, and then get out of the way. And in that way, that is working with the way Source works. It doesn't really work well with constraints. Source energy moves exactly where it needs to go. And when we think about suffering or struggle, that's really the human ego trying to control things or wanting things to be different than the way that they just are. So we're building this with the universe. There is no separation. The next group of investors is going to be easeful and effortless. I don't believe it has supposed to be hard. Nothing about this journey has been hard or filled with resistance. It's been very, very flowy and easeful. And so the proof points are there. I have full surrender and trust into this energetic field that is really directing everything. And I've not had even one experience that has caused me to doubt this full surrender and trust. So that connection is getting stronger and stronger. And as it's getting stronger, the next steps are appearing faster and faster. And that's why this is the time, because the energy is moving really fast now to create something like this and bring it to the world.